Did you know that on average, the median sales price of homes listed December through February is 6% lower than homes sold March through May? In this video, I'm going to talk about the reasons why you might want to consider buying real estate in the wintertime. Stay tuned. All right, Matt the Mortgage Guy, residential mortgage broker. In this video, I'm going to talk about the advantages of buying during the wintertime. I'm going to talk about who's buying, who's selling, and what things you might want to look out for or strategies you can take to get yourself a great deal. Before I do, connect with me and my team. I promise they won't hit you with those corny jokes, but they'll get you pre-approved. They'll get you set up. They'll educate you on anything having to do with buying or refinancing a home. Again, greatmortgagebroker.com. All right, enough of that. I was thinking about this today as we enter November and December, and as I talk to more and more investors getting themselves into great deals. What is it about the wintertime that brings out these great deals? We all know there's less demand in the market during the winter. And I think right now, specifically end of 2022 into 2023, demand is down also because of interest rates. So it might feel like there's, literally nobody at the dance, right? So you get your pick of the litter. As a buyer, there is tons of opportunity. Listen to this piece of advice I got from a really savvy investor who was talking to somebody who said, you know what, as I see price declines, which happen every winter, right? Like week on week for the rest of the year, you can expect prices to slowly inch down. The median home price nationwide is going to go from 435 closer to 400,000, just because naturally during the wintertime, like it peaks in the summer and comes down in the winter. But interesting thing I heard as a rebuttal to somebody who said, hey, listen, if home prices continue to tick down a little bit, who am I to buy today when I might get this place for 5, 6, 8, 10% cheaper if I wait 6 to 9 months? And the advice coming from a very savvy investor was, if you like that price in the future, offer it today. Great example. If somebody's listed a house for 500,000 and you thought to yourself, if that thing went down 10% to 450, that would be a good deal. That would be something that would work for me as an investment. Go ahead and write 460,000 with 10,000 in seller credit to buy the rate down, or whatever you want to do with that $10,000 in credit. Save on some closing costs. You get that 10% discount today. And I would argue that getting that 10% discount today is going to be a win, because you're going to buy it and whatever rate is attached to it, whether it's a 7.5, a 7, a 6.5, that's the worst it's going to get from an interest rate and payment perspective. If rates get better next year, which we expect them to do, you refinance into a lower rate. Now you've got an even better looking deal. I know, because I've tracked the data with me and my team nationwide, that something happens to demand right at about 5.5%. 5.5% was when we really saw demand fall off for the worst. The market we're in right now has very little home buyer demand because of that 5.5% tipping point. If we come under 5.5%, my argument is that demand is going to come back into the market. Whether that happens next February or next April or whenever, if that coincides with the spring buying season where we've got spring buyers, we've got demand that comes back into the market that might have lost interest at 6, 6.5, or 7, that is going to create not a huge increase in home prices. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's going to create a floor where home prices aren't going to be allowed to go down 15, 20%, like some people predict might happen. So just my 2 cents. So if you want to talk about the main reason why you'd buy in the winter, it's simple: better deals, motivated sellers, and less buyers. think about who's selling in the wintertime. I can promise you in November of 2022 and December of 2022, someone didn't wake up and say, you know what? It's a great time to sell right now while rates are at 7% and buyer demand is off of a cliff. Let's go stick a sign in the front yard. People who are selling need to sell. And when they need to sell, they're willing to negotiate. So you as a buyer, when you've got that motivated seller and you've got less buyers, less competition, there's no highest and best. There's no get your offers in by Tuesday at 5 p.m. There's no you must waive your contingencies. There's no above appraised value. There's no above the list price. None of that stuff exists, right? It is home buying season for a lot of folks, right? All of the pain and suffering, and we hate this market where there's 92 offers on every single home and it listed at 439 and it ended up selling for 515. It's gone. You got your wish. And I know that the interest rate and the price, which creates a payment that is uncomfortable, isn't ideal, but I'm telling you, you can negotiate. You can negotiate that price. You can work with a great mortgagebroker.com that is going to structure a mortgage that makes sense for you. Maybe as somebody who's going to occupy the home, you're doing a 2-1 buy down. Great product. Please check out that video. I've done multiple videos on it. You get the seller to pay for the buy down, which gives you a rate in the 4s in year 1, a rate in the 5s in year 2, and then years 3 through 30. If you haven't refinanced it, it's going to set at 6.875, 6.99, whatever that rate is for years 3 through 30. Great way to get into the home. So, just some of my thoughts as I'm sitting back and thinking about investors that I'm working with that are out there winning all across the U.S. in Texas and Florida and Tennessee and California, where I'm at, finding great deals, finding motivated sellers that, they've enjoyed some great gains over the last few years. And unfortunately for sellers, you're not going to get to enjoy as much of the spoils as you thought. You listed at 500, you've got 270,000 in equity. Well, you might have to settle for 465. You might have to settle for 455. You might have to give the buyer some concessions to buy down the interest rate, cover some of their closing costs, maybe both, right? So as a buyer, be on the lookout for deals. Shop in the winter. The famous saying of be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy. People are scared to death. And in the face of that, I've got investors winning every single day. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Greatmortgagebroker.com. Fill out the form. Let my team know where you're at and how we can help. We will be in touch and we'll help you win. Get out there, find some deals. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. And until next time, we gonna see.